folks. Welcome again to another episode of the Shut Up and Do It podcast. Place you can come hang out with us while we go through all things real estate, and we bring you top quality speakers from across the country, all who believe in a shut up and do it manner. I'm your host, Nick Allery, creator of the Complete Deal Flow System and principal with the AA Real Estate Group, a buyer and a multifamily buyer and flipper in the greater Boston area and beyond in 7 different states. Today, we're super happy to bring you another top quality speaker. This gentleman I've known now for a bunch of months. He's also in our local mastermind group. This is Brandon Schwab, who really messed with me because in our last time we were at that meeting, he had a new sticker on him that actually said CEO. I'm like, how'd this guy get CEO? Let me sit down and find out everything about this guy and how he got a CEO going of the mastermind group. I'm like, what? But he graciously took me in and didn't mess with me too much. And it turns out he has an incredible niche to share with you. We haven't had a speaker yet on his particular niche. So, hey, Brandon, I'm super happy you're on the show today, man. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thank you.
I know we'll obviously start by having you kind of welcome us. Tell us your journey into real estate and your bio. And you actually have a presentation for us today, yeah?
I do, yes. Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. All right, we'll do the screen share now. And if you want to start, Brandon, just give us a little bit. You've got an incredible story. Guys, listen to this. Listen to what he did from detailing. So go for it, Brandon.
All right. So to give you guys a brief overview, I began our first business when I was 15 years old. I owned that business for about 14 years. I was detailing cars, boats, and RVs until about 2010. I began that when I was a
young buck,
just sophomore.
Oh
my
wow.
God. And I did that for about 14 years. I did that through 2010. And then 2010, I began doing homes. I was probably able to just wholesale about 20 to about 30 deals each year. And then 2012, I began purchasing homes for our own portfolio. And then from 2012 through 2014, I built up a portfolio of about 23 homes. I was after the earnings, and I was able to have passive income of about $5,400 each month. I owned our own investments club in the area. So I was able to do that for about 2 years. And then
what area was that, Brandon?
I was in a suburb, this little town called Johnsburg. We're about an hour just northwest of Chicagoland. We had a club of about 100 to about 120 people. I kind of thought I had everything with having 23 homes, and I was in the business for about 5 years. I had passive income of about $5,400 each month. I kind of thought I had everything just figured out until I went to Tampa in July of 2014, and I went to a home that cared for 5 elderly. And that's when everything that I thought I had kind of just figured out got turned totally upside down. And I got exposed to a home, and I will tell you how I was able to do it. So Kelly's dad, which Kelly is in this picture right here, Kelly's dad he takes his piano, and he is able to play at 328 homes per year for the elderly. And the part that is interesting is he is in there 328 times per year, but he tells the just same bad jokes over and over and over. And I'm like, Kelly, do I have to go? So I tried to get out of it, and I had to go to this event. And when we pulled up to a home that was probably maybe 3,000 just square feet, I kind of did one of these, like, what the hell is this place? And when I was able to go in there, and by the end of it, I just figured out that is that home with 5 people in it outperformed all 23 homes I had back at home 2 times per month. And then when I went home, like, I have to do things different. So kind of that's how I was able to get into this. And I will go through this briefly and the point here is, thank you for being able to just have us on. I want to help teach people what the business is that we call boutique senior living. We are able to call it that because it's a very different version of caring for the elderly that I think people haven't ever heard of before. So what we are doing is we are offering housing to care for the elderly, but we're doing it in homes, 10 to 15 beds is kind of the just average home. So what I did here is I got into this in 2014, and I will actually go through a couple of our homes as we are to get going. But before that, I'm going to talk briefly about the elder count population. Okay.
Hey, Brandon, you know what? If I can, before you jump into this, because you've got some crazy information that's going to go like, I think we're going to take it the rest of the time, but some of our listeners really like to hear about any sort of, did you ever have any professional or personal challenges that you had to overcome? And if not, that's totally cool. Then we'll talk about scaling a little bit.
Challenges. Absolutely. I am a guy that likes to take action. So when I jumped into this business, I didn't have any background caring for the elderly. And in fact, I really didn't have any business actually doing this. I mean, I jumped in. Prior to this business, I was detailing cars, boats, and also RVs, and I jumped into this business without any background, but I just did it. That was a huge challenge, and one of the things that I would tell people is this challenge. I mean, oftentimes people get into a business or they think to get in, but they don't because they want to have every answer before they get in, and then they just don't ever do anything. So the background I have is I was able to detail cars, boats, and RVs. I was in 5 different states. I had a contract with Camping World RV Sales. Did almost $800,000 per year, but that taught me how to operate. But when I got into this, guys, I figured out how to open up a home to care for the elderly. And the biggest challenge is I didn't have any clue what the hell I was doing. So I think the average person would probably come up with a good excuse why they aren't going to do it, or they don't have dollars or time, or they've got kids. If you feel the passion to do something, you just got to do it, and you got to figure out how to do it. To take action is probably the biggest challenge that I had to overcome. Is I was able to take action because I felt confident that I was exposed to the typical homes that care for the elderly. My grandpa was in a home that probably had 200 plus beds. And if you have ever been in those homes, guys, one of the things that I first picked up on these homes is they have a type of odor kind of that is tied to these homes that what I found you really couldn't get off of you for like days. And also the overall atmosphere really wasn't the best either. And just my grandpa had a pretty bad accident, and we called for a person to come in to help him. And it took him probably 20 minutes. And that exposed me to how bad the healthcare just system is today. And I felt that I had an opportunity after being exposed to this in July of 2014 that like I had to do something different. And I had the opportunity to help the elderly get a better type of care that was out there today. Now, did I have all of the answers? So I did not. But I could easily open up the homes. But as far as the day-to-day operations, I didn't have any clue what the heck I was doing. So one of the things that I had to do to overcome that challenge is I had to partner up with good people. This gentleman I partnered up with 2015. He was in the healthcare business for 48 years. So a lot of people don't get into this business because they don't, well, so I don't know how to do that. Well, that's a bad excuse, because you can find people that are going to be experts in those different areas. And that's what I was able to do. In fact, I partnered up with Steve and Teresa, which Teresa's down here. I partnered up with these two, and the three of us were able to partner up with this beautiful team here that we are all experts at each of our own areas. And we don't try to do what the other person is able to do. So I'm able to open up homes. Teresa she's in charge of the day-to-day, and then Steve fills beds for us. So the three of us kind of have everything answered, but there are definitely people out there that have been in the healthcare business that really would jump all over a opportunity to get into a place to care for the elderly. And then two, we have got one of those businesses that is got a very good purpose to it. What I call the best. So it is it's like the ultimate feel-good investment. Okay, you are going to put in effort. You're going to put in dollars, and but all of it has to go towards something. Our business cares for the elderly. We also are able to answer to the elderly where they are going to go after Earth. So we've got the option to earn awesome money. We have the option to help elderly answer where they are gonna go after Earth. But then also we get to have a single family home earn $20,000 each month. Where do you get all of those? I mean,
ridiculous.
Our very first home, guys, we bought for $250,000. We put $550,000 into it. So we got about $800,000 all in. That's a 10-bed home that is able to earn $20,000 each month. If you were to compare that to a 24-unit apartment building, which is probably about $800 to get into that, the average 24-unit apartment building is able to profit $138 per door, which is like $3,500. So if you were able to compare this asset class versus a apartment building, which everybody is chasing apartment buildings, it is crazy.
And their brothers and their sisters and their cousins are all doing it right now. Yeah,
totally. They're all in, die hard. And when this asset class is able to outperform a 24-unit 5 to 6 times each month, I'm going, hey, you guys keep on going, because we are able to just help people. And guys, that's taking a home that is being turned into this purpose. When we begin building, that's a whole different topic. We are able to build homes that are able to clear $40,000 per month. I mean, that's a totally different animal, which we can get into that. But so I don't know if that was able to answer what you're asking me, but I think I just talked.
No, that's cool. And in fact, because I know we've chatted a little bit before this, and you have a couple of case studies for us. If you don't go over a deal that you made another mistake on, I might ask you about a mistake deal too.
Oh my God, guys, we have done everything possible backwards, and it has cost us, I'm telling you guys, hundreds of thousands of dollars of doing things backwards. One of the things I'll tell you is those 23 homes that I had, we bought those properties with the owners carrying back. So I did that without tons of dollars into it. So all of these 23 homes, I would find homes and I would get the owner to carry back. And I'm a little bit of a deal junkie almost, where if I can get the owner to carry back financing, I'll typically do the deal because I think that is interesting. And of our current 5 properties, we've only paid cash for one of them. And one of the things that is interesting is out of the other 4, the highest we have paid is 1.5% interest on any of those homes. So we got the owner to carry back, but we also got them to give us a very good deal on those homes.
What did you say the rate was?
1.5% interest.
What? Are you serious?
Well, here, and which I don't want to get too far too far ahead, but we got the owner to carry back financing here, got the owner to carry back financing here, and here. The only property we bought for cash is this one right here, and the dirt as well, but it's a whole different topic. I am going to do a case study on this property right here, and then also our brand new build. So
nice.
All right, so if I am going to have access to kind of keep on going. All right, so are we good?
Yeah, you're good, man. If I come up with questions, I'll interrupt you as I usually do.
Cool. All right. Real briefly, we have 12,500 baby boomers turning 50 every day. We have 10,000 turning 60, 10,000 turning 65 every day, and also we have 4,000 folks turning 85 every day. So if you think what's going on, the baby boomer is the biggest population in the entire country's history. Here's a couple pictures of some very popular baby boomers. They control the biggest dollars in any age group in our whole country's history. So that's what we are going to be taking care of. And one of the things that's interesting is because of the 2008 crash, they kind of quit building these homes from like 2008 through like 2012. So there's a huge gap where in order to keep up, we have to build 60,000 brand new beds each year to keep up with the 2035 population that is coming down. And one of the things that is also pretty interesting is this is the top commercial asset class. And that's over apartment buildings, it's over industrial, hotel, office, just retail. So this graph right here is as of the first quarter of 2015. A lot of you are probably asking, this is great. So the elder is the black column, right? This is the only column here that I actually care on because it takes you back 10 years. So this is from 2005 through 2015. I only care of how did these asset classes do through the 2008 crash. Okay. And this was the top asset class through that crash because that is caused from the people that are coming into these homes have to have care, and they also have older dollars. They typically have a home that is going to be paid off, and when they have to have help, they have to have help. And so I will tell you our average bed, and which if you were able to compare to the asset class of homes, which probably the average home, just single family, is probably bringing in an average of $1,500 to $1,800 per home. Our average bed is $5,500 per bed. And our average property has 10 to 15 beds per home. So to give you an idea, we're bringing in about $55,000 plus every 30 days. But what is driving this is the elder count from the boomer population. If you look at this blue part, this is folks over 70 years old. The first time in our country's history will the elder count population be greater than everybody else. And this is probably the first and the only time this will ever happen, is about 15 plus years right here. Now, I don't know on you, but we are doubling down because taking care of this population for these 15 years, I feel will create massive it will create dollars, but there's also a giant opportunity here to help the elderly, because when we have to add these extra beds, all of the other businesses out here, guys, are building these giant beds for 200 plus beds, right? If you have been in your own home for 50 to 80 years, who the hell ever thought that going into a big place with 200 other people is what anybody was able to hope for, right? This here is opportunity right here. Real quick, this is interesting. This is the top 10. This is the top 10 states in the entire country that have the elderly here, right? Okay, so California has 4.2 million of folks 65 years or older. We got 3.2 down in just Florida. Those are all pretty easy ones, okay? And then this other column right here is the bed count, okay, of a 10-bed home or under. So California has 2,800 of these homes, which accounts for 170,000 beds total. Florida has 1,800. Where I'm at, we only have 389 beds. So wow. If you have anybody that is looking to invest, does anybody see opportunity right here? There's 55 homes in our entire state. And we are the biggest here. We are the only operator doing this in our entire county of 308,000 people. So plug in that if anybody is interested in investing. We are crushing it here. Our goal here is to open up 30 homes, which is pictured over here, by 2022. So we do partner up with investors to put the 20% down payment. We offer a good pref and also a piece of ownership too. So in the end, I will give you info of how to get into contact. So, but like this is a very good place to go. And if you have anybody that is interested in doing these, I mean, look at all these other areas. I mean, you could build them in these other areas and crush it. There is a giant opportunity.
Where's Massachusetts and New Hampshire, Brandon?
What?
Oh, Massachusetts, New Hampshire doesn't have enough old people?
I mean, no, but this is only the top 10 list. So
gotcha. That's all right. Crazy. Go on.
So this is pretty interesting. So when we begin talking through here, I tend to call things IL, AL, and also going to be MC. A lot of times people are like, what the heck are you talking on? Well, so IL is independent living. That is when they have to have help with one ADL. One ADL is an activity of daily. Now that's like getting up, brushing your teeth, doing your hair, to cook, clean, eat, bathe, all of those items. When you have to help with only just one, you were able to come here, and that begins at about $2,500 each month. When you have to have help with 2 ADLs to about 4 ADLs, you would come down to the AL category. The AL category begins at about $5,500 each month. And guys, that's per bed. That is going to include everything from cooking, cleaning, care, everything. Okay, and that is able to go up to about $7,500. When you have to have help with about 5 ADLs, that would come down here, and that begins at about $7,500 up to 10 grand. So that gives you an idea kind of what this business is. And I want to add value, but I'm going to give you pretty good examples. In fact, I want to go to just my other deck, because this deck here has a better picture. So our very first home we bought in 2014 is a 10-bed AL. Okay, so our average bed here is about $5,500 each month. Our expenses are about $35,000. So this house clears 20 grand each month. This property down here, and I'm going to go into detail on this home and also this here too, because I want to give you an idea what these homes actually just look like. And if we have time, and if this here could be good for you, I can actually take you through this house right here, which is, would that be good?
Yeah, I mean, well, for sure. We'll see how much time we've got, but we're doing great so far.
Okay, good. All right, so 10 bed AL. This is a 10 bed IL because this is a 2. So we've got 10 bed ILs up top, and we got 6 bed AL on the first floor. This property here will do better than this top property. We just opened this home in January, and this home will fill up, and this home will clear about 20 to 23,000 each month. This house is a 10 bed MC. This house will be done by Q2 this year, but this house we are projecting is going to clear $28,000 per month. And then these 2 homes over here will be done by Q3 this year. This bottom home is a 16,000 square foot home with 10,000 on the first floor. This is a 18,000 square foot home with over 2 floors as well. These 2 homes will clear 40 grand each month. So to give you an idea, these homes create giant passive income. That gives you the time to do other things, guys. I talk to different guys that are able to fix and do 50, 80, 200 plus homes each year, but they are grinding it, going 80 hours plus per week. Their kids are able to hate them because they aren't ever home.
Careful here, Brandon. Careful. Your audience is a lot of wholesalers and flippers, but you might be right on that, brother.
Well, I am able to be totally honest here because I did that. So we were busy going 80 hours each week, and I will tell you, when I had 23 homes, and this will probably be a very interesting home, is I had a home in Cary, Illinois. Okay. It was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home. I had a tenant in there that put $10,000 down. Her kid clogged all 3 toilets to the point where the finished basement backed up with poop. And when I had to do the eviction, I did it personally. The gal was into me for probably about $7,500. And when I got home that day, so I'm putting in probably 70 to 80 hours each week. And Jeffrey at the time was maybe 4.5, turning 5. And guys, I can tell you this day, because when I got done doing this, I was pissed. It was one of those ugly days where you're like, hey, fortune builders didn't tell you this part. Okay, they are able to tell you, hey, own 30, 40, 80 homes for 20 to 30 years, and you are going to be just great. Well, they don't tell you what it actually just looks like. Where, just picture this: I am going in and out of this house. The basement backed up. Now this is a finished basement, backed up, and I had to take all of this girl's crap out of this house with a basement that backed up with poop. So I'm covered in actual crap taking out this house, and it was horrible. Worst day ever. This was like early July 2014. I was pissed. I am able to go home, and I've got a boy who is the best kid ever. And so I'm going to go up to this top picture because Jeffrey is down here. Playing baseball for him is a big part. And when I came home, Jeffrey wanted to play baseball with me. Okay. And kids are kids, right? They just keep asking you. And so I was going to tell him, like, Jeffrey, can I play? I just have to have time because so I was pissed. I was dirty. And it was one of those days where I wanted to just drink about 5 beers and just don't talk to anybody, right? Well, he kept bugging me.
Right? After you took a shower? After the crap.
Man, dude, it was a horrible day. And what was able to happen, guys, is at the end of that day, I barked at him of like, Jeffrey, don't talk to me right now. And it was a day that was such a kick in the just face, because like I became that guy. So I was busy going 80 hours a week. And I thought, because fortune builders told me, Brandon, if you were able to do this for 20 plus years, you are going to be just fine. But they didn't tell you, put it in. So when I was able to just wholesale deals, our average deal was like $12,000. So once I was able to do them, after every deal, I had to keep on doing deals, because we were earning $250,000 each year, but I was constantly going, and I felt like I was on this just hamster wheel. So if anybody got pissed on that, is if you don't have time to do things or to go places, I am going to be the person to tell you, you don't own anything. The business is able to own you. And it took coaching Jeffrey's baseball team to get me out of that business, because I figured that if I don't create passive income to create time that I can go do other things, I had to figure out a different business to get into. And that's what pushed me over the edge.
Totally. They don't teach you that on the, like you said, Fortune Builders is one of them, but yeah, they say rentals, passive income. And
passive income.
And I'm with you, sir. I mean, we've got a whole bunch of single family stuff, and it's certainly not passive. Even the ones we have third party management managing, it's like day to day, being nervous about something, get them on the phone. But you're absolutely right, brother. I'm with you.
Yeah. So guys, when I had times where, and they also did it here, I have to get off the topic, but there is other avenues out there today to earn income without dealing with people trashing your houses and causing you $8,000 to $10,000 each house, which burns up other dollars coming in. I mean, that's just a tough business. So what I want to tell you is I jumped into this business and I was detailing cars, boats, and also RVs. So if I can do this, probably everyone on here is brighter than so I was. The only thing that I did different is I took action and I just got in. And our very first home, which I can tell you about 1,000 things I would do different going forward. We bought this first home. We bought it for $250,000. I bought it with a guy that owned apartment buildings. And we jumped into this thing. We bought it for $250,000. We put $550 in, so we overdid everything. And we just kind of jumped in. And this is a 7-bedroom, 7.5 bath home. This is 4,800 square feet. And as you can tell by over here, it's a 1-floor home, which is very tough to find. This home, guys, is in a town of 832 people. So if you tell me you have to be in these towns of tons of just people, that is crap. We bought this awesome home on 3.2 acres in a town of 800 people, and we just jumped into it. And it did take us time to kind of go through all of the upfront errors. I probably spent $50,000 on advertising that didn't fill anything for me. We did about 10 full pages in the local paper at $1,000 each, which did jack. And point being, we filled this house February of 2017. And in fact, till this day today, we haven't had an opening for over 30 days in this house for over 2+ years. What does that tell you? That we had to build these homes faster. But This past year in 2018, once we had our 2000 these tax returns, we had this house appraised, and this house appraised for 1.8. They gave me a 13.5% cap rate, which I was thrilled to get a home that was valued at this, but I was hoping for a cap rate of 8 to 10%.
Yeah.
Our very first home, I felt that they were able to discount that because it was built in just 1955, things like that. So
yeah.
This is our very first home. So we've got about $825,000 into this house, and this house produces an annual NOI of about $240,000. So what other single family asset have you ever seen that is it going to produce those type of figures?
Sure. Brandon, did you have to make sure that this had any particular zoning before you started to do this?
Good question. So now that's actually a very good question. So when we bought this house, we had to get what was called a conditional use permit. We hired an attorney, cost me about $14,000 to kind of push that through. It took some time, but we bought it in October. We got building permits April 4th, and we had the house open by September 5th of 2015. So it did take some time, but it isn't that difficult to get them open. They just take time.
Gotcha. Cool. Good to know.
Home 2, this is a fantastic deal. We bought this for $450,000. We put $25,000 down, and I got the owner to carry back financing on $425,000 at 1.5% interest over 5 years. So our payment here on this house, and now this is a 7,300 square foot home, just 16 bedrooms. And we ended up putting $425,000 into this house. So all in, I'm probably $825,000. This house, once it is fully occupied, which we will have it fully occupied by July of this year. We just filled 4 beds in here, and this house will clear about $23,000 per month. So this house, when it's done, will be appraised at probably $2.2 million.
Gotcha. Now you said too, Brandon, on this follow-up, this is IL, but it also has a few ALs in there too, right? On this one?
So we bought this house, and this house here was operating for 34 years. The owners were looking to get out of the business, and this house had basically everything in it. It had sprinklers in it. It had a full elevator. It basically had everything in it. This what we thought was going to be a pretty turnkey home. One of the big things I took out of this home, guys, is this home was built in 1866. Never buy a home built in the 1800s. Just don't do it.
Oh, well, that ruins everything we have in the Northeast, but that's okay.
Right. Don't do it, because this house, our upfront budget was $150,000, and at the end of the day, as we began opening up walls, we just kept going, and we put $425,000 in. So our brand new policy from here on out is we don't buy anything older than just 1980.
Gotcha. That's a good policy.
Yeah. So just don't do it, because this here was a giant curve of learning, and we did everything backwards and just.
What kind of extra? Oh, sorry to cut in, Brandon, but when you're doing these rehabs and these rehab numbers, and maybe you're getting into this in a slide, but what differences do you have to put into these homes that you wouldn't for a retail fix and flip or, an apartment building?
You have to do one ADA bathroom for every floor. You have to do sprinklers throughout. If you have 2 floors, you need a full, I think the elevator here costs us about $25,000. And then this particular house was plaster. And when I began opening up walls, I have seen just knob and tube power in old homes, right? But it was
there we go. Now you're speaking our language up here. Keep going.
it was always cut where so it was in there, but wasn't ever active, right?
Yeah.
I'll be damned did I find out that this house didn't have 85% of this house was active, just knob and tube to wiring. And they were able to connect to brand new power, what was called a farmer's loop. And just as soon as I heard that, I'm like, hell no, we aren't playing this game. We aren't going to put people in a building and burn the damn thing down and kill people.
Good
soon as I had that choice, because when we get into these homes, you cannot cut corners because you are taking care of actual people that aren't able to get out of these homes very quickly. So soon as I did that choice, we blew our $150,000 budget right out the window. I mean, our power bill was $100,000, and taking plaster out in a building that was built in 1866, where just nothing in that building is good. Here, so I don't want to put a whole bunch of time in this, but the biggest thing here is don't buy anything from the 1800s. Home 3, this is a 4,500 square foot home. I am converting the 2.5 car garage into 2 extra rooms. This is a beautiful home. This home's going to clear $28,000 per month. Great property, hard to find. It's on 5 acres. Our 4th property is our only property we paid cash for. This was on the MLS in 2015 for $2.4 million. It's 35 acres. It has 2 homes on it, right? One home is 18,000 square feet, and the other one's about 1,500. We bought the property from a guy that got busted with a couple thousand pounds of weed. So it's a very popular house in our area. We bought it from the bank for $750,000, which is half of what we were able to offer on it in 2015. Nice. So this is a very good deal. One thing I will just mention briefly before I get into the other home is our purpose of our business isn't to earn money. And anybody that gets into this business only with the whole purpose to earn dollars is going to probably build 85 plus beds. That isn't where the elderly gets properly taken care of. We have one caregiver to every 5 people. And if anybody can take anything out of this, is if you get into this business, great. But don't do it like a total dirt ball. Do it. You got to do it properly. Our competition has one caregiver to every 15 to 20 people. And that is bad business. And so I am able to get into a whole topic here, but the biggest cause of the elderly to pass in these homes is, and this is able to kill 73% of the people in these homes, is from a pressure ulcer. What do you think that is going to be caused from?
Yeah.
I will tell you, it is from having you will have a just accident in your pants. You just sit in it for hours and hours. Your tissue gets just soft, and then you turn. When that is able to tear, it gets infected. When it gets infected, you die. That is bullshit, because that's what everybody does in these big places, is they don't take care of people. When you were able to care for people and have one caregiver to every 5 people, they get checked and changed every 2 hours. And in fact, today we had an L10 talk today, and our team has put in a Bluetooth piece in every person in our home when they are going to do anything in there. We get this thing goes off. That tells us when people are going to go in their adult diaper. Okay, whenever you can check and get that, and it like that keeps people from having issues. And then the other piece is our top KPI of our business is we are proud that 100 every person that's ever passed in our homes has always been able to answer where they are going to go after Earth. So we feel it's a kingdom opportunity, and I will keep that as is. The other case study is brand new builds. Brand new builds is where I feel our business is going forward, because at the end of the day, it took me 5 years to build 68 beds. I think that is terrible. That takes us way too long, but that's what it took. Going forward, we are doing something different where we are buying dirt and we are building pods. And when I call you pods, we're talking about 3 back-to-back homes, just 16 beds each, 48 beds per home. Now, what I want to challenge people is, if you want to help the elderly, this is the best way to do it. But the only way to build brand new homes is you'd have to partner up with us, basically, because a bank isn't going to give you dollars to build these if you don't actually do that. So if anybody on here enjoys passive income, we are actually looking for 50-50 partners that could actually build these homes for us. We would do the day-to-day, and then you would just be the boots on the ground, and for us to go 50-50. This pot of homes right here by us clears about $80,000 each month. So who here is interested in 40 grand after expenses each month?
It's tough to raise the hand when they're listening, but yes, I'm with you. I'm interested.
So we are at the point, because we have gone through 5 years of doing everything, pardon this, but we've basically done everything ass backwards, okay? We are at the point now where we have gone through, if anybody's going to get into this business, it is going to take you time. And by the time you get to the point where we are today, we are going to be 5 years in front of you. And we're at the point now where if we could partner up with people coast to coast that could actually build these homes and kind of give us a turnkey, we are interested in being in California, Texas, East Coast, Arizona, possibly Arizona. I would say the East Coast, definitely. Florida, Georgia, Boston area. So hey, we are gonna have to talk. But we are looking to partner up with people that can build this product right here. I have got the best prints ever. And to give you an idea right here, we bought 15 acres here. So if you can tell, this right here, all these homes in the background is, guess what? A 55 plus with 5,500 homes. So we bought 15 acres directly outside of Dell here. And now Dell here has 5,500 homes that are all 55 plus. Why is that a key piece? You want to build the elderly, or you want to build these homes where the elderly are at. Okay, so do you think when folks are in a 55 plus home, they're probably having a caregiver come in every day, every other day, be able to help them? Do you think when they can't do that anymore, do you think they would want to be close to where they are at? If you can tell where this cursor is right here, we bought 5 acres right here and just under 10 acres right here. So we are building this project here is 144 beds. Total project cost is about $21 million. Bank is financing 18 of that. We had to buy the upfront dirt, which we partnered up with investors. They put the upfront 20% down, which is like 2.5 just million. We gave them a very good pref and a very good piece of equity Their IRRs are over 20%, so they are very thrilled. But this year has a feel good investment. This total project here, which is pretty interesting because this is our first brand new build. This 3-pod project here, we are projecting after all expenses, and I'm talking caregivers and all that, which I'm to get into what these things actually earn, is projected to clear $240,000 each month.
Nice. And I know we have to be careful about specific returns on this particular, forum, but yeah, you're doing it. It looks very sexy here. Hey, Brandon, you mentioned earlier, and I'm glad you mentioned it because one of my follow-up questions to you, which was a tough question, aren't you exploiting these people with these outrageous prices? But at the same time,
oh my God, guys, we are here. There is a place in our area that. So there are places, so I just talked to a guy in San Diego, California. They have an upfront buy-in of $750,000, okay, just to get in. And then they charge them $10,000 each month, okay? Guys, there are places out there that are charging $200,000-$300,000 and $8,000 to $10,000. What I was able to charge your guys is that's actually the average or probably even under. Okay, $5,500 for this is probably the average. A lot of these places here, when we get into what it actually costs, you will get an idea that they are able to charge that because these places are taking care of the elderly. And the cost to do that, I mean, to give you an idea of if we are talking on these brand new builds and all of these things that I am able to tell you here, like these are what we think it is going to earn based off of everything we have done here. Okay. So these figures that we are going to kind of dive into give you an idea, and these figures that I am going to talk on is only these pods over here, this pod right here and this pod right here. Okay. We didn't include this top pod because at the time of us doing this, I wasn't sure if I was going to even get this deal. Okay.
So these are all, what you're about to go through is all projections based on.
These aren't actuals if you were able to go do this. And this is going to be in our area. Okay. So if you are in California, there is 2,800 of these homes. So there are going to be other homes. Your average cost could be under. So the upfront, this is, you aren't able to hold us. This is for educational purposes only or info purposes.
Sure. Let's go to the numbers. I'm interested too, as well as especially the ongoing monthly expenses. That's really, I think, what would be cool to educate on. Do you have all that? Yeah.
So just to be upfront, so we are going to talk on 2 of these homes, our 2 pods. Okay.
All right.
Fair.
Yep.
All right. And how are we doing? How are we doing time-wise?
We're running a little behind, but we're doing all right. We've got maybe like 15 minutes left.
Okay, damn it. All right, so buy properties. Here is a upfront build cost for every pod. Figure building costs of about. Now this is going to be to build and parking lot, curbing, trees, kind of everything. Figure $250 per foot, so about $6 million per pod. And to have a pod, you need about 5 acres, okay? 5 acres. I bought B2 acres, which is, we paid $200,000 per acre, which by us is like crazy high. But this area is fantastic, so we are gonna eat that cost. So here's what the overall plan is. Here is a couple homes we bought prints for. Just 16 beds per home, 7,500 square feet total. Here's 2 of them back to back. You've got to partner up. You have to have an awesome team. These 2, I could not do this business without these two. These two are fantastic. In fact, as I am down here talking, Teresa is about 25 feet from me over there, just laughing at all of the things I'm able to say. But I want to get into actual figures. Well, one thing is, while we are building these homes, we are going to do a postcard campaign, and we're going to spend about 30 grand towards hand addressed postcards, and we are going to invite them out to feed them. Folks that are over 65 have a hard time passing up somebody buying them dinner.
Are you kidding?
When we buy dinner,
I can't pass up a free dinner either. I'm just saying.
Yeah, totally, right? And Steve here, who is hands down he is 70. He is the just happiest guy ever. Okay. He would buy them dinner and talk to them for about an hour. And then our goal is to pre-book about 80% of these beds prior to us even opening. You are going to go, how the hell are you going to do that? Well, we custom ordered a 53-foot trailer. And when I call it a trailer, I almost kind of just cringe because it's about $100,000 office. We did that because as we build 30 homes, this office has to pick up and get pulled to other places. So we are going to book about 80% of these beds prior to even opening. Let's get into figures. Okay, so we are talking about 6 beds or just 6 different homes, right? So we are talking about this parcel here, H3. Okay, that's 2 pods, just 6 homes. Got it?
Yep.
So 4 of these homes are going to be AL homes. So if you were able to go back when I was able to tell you, you are going to have AL. So the AL homes, the average bed is $5,500 each month. If you take this, if you take your 16 times 5,500, you get $88,000 gross income.
Yep.
Here are going to be your expenses. Caregivers are $30,000 each month per home. Okay, that's a pretty big cost. Debt is $10,000 to $12,000 each month. We have a RN. The RN gets about $6,000, $6,500 each month. But by having 3 different homes per RN, it breaks that cost up. So these 3 homes would be paying towards the RN. The director is $1,500 per home. We factor 7% overhead, which goes towards admin, advertising, our office, kind of things like that.
Got it. On those caregivers too, Brandon, just to go back. So for 16 beds, that would be like 3 or 4 different caregivers because
3.
of the 16? 3. Okay.
Yeah. So that would be 3 caregivers, 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. And then in the evening shift from 10 p.m. till 7 a.m., we would have 2. Okay. And that's for these 4 homes. Okay.
Yep.
One thing that I will tell you that's different is when we go to the homes for MC, we would have 3 caregivers during the day and 3 caregivers there during the evening time. So there's extra people there in the evening time because folks here are going to be up often, and two people just can't do it. So if we go to so food, $6 per person per day. I have tried to feed them extra. They just don't eat. So we are tossing out thousands of dollars each month. Just utilities, $2,500 is high. We put a $5,000 odd expense of anything that didn't get covered got put right here. And our gross expenses there per home is $62,000. So to give you an idea, each of these homes are doing pretty good for the AL homes. But I'll tell you, we have kind of padded these numbers, the gross expenses, 10 to 20%. Our caregivers aren't 30,000, but we want to kind of over kind of think that the costs are going to be, and we want to outperform that.
Now you have just, maybe you have it in this one here. I didn't see anything like taxes or maintenance, repairs like you would in multifamily. Do you have any of those expenses too?
That would be put into this. That would be put into this column right here.
Okay.
For our homes that are open today that were built before just 1980, we figure a 5% repair budget. But for anything brand new, you have 10 to 20 years before you are going to have big issues.
Yeah.
So for brand new builds, we figured like 2.5%.
Okay.
So our home 5 and just 6, these homes here, this is figuring $7,500 per bed, okay, times just 16. That's 120 grand gross income each month. And it really doesn't change your expenses. So when you add up our first 4 homes plus these 2 homes, you have a gross income of almost $600,000 each month. The bank is going to want us to take a 10% vacancy factor out, which is about just $60,000. You end up with a total income of $532,000 each month. If you add up your total expenses, you're $372,000. Your gross profit after expenses. Now this is before taxes and the owner draws. You're grossing $160,000 each month. You times that by 12, you got almost $2 million per year. If we were assuming a 6% cap rate off of this figure right here, you got about $32 million. And our way to take out dollars and pay back investors is we would use this valuation here. We would get a 55% loan to value, and we would take out about 16.5 million. We would pay off our upfront costs of about 14 million, and we would put tax-free $2.5 million cash in our pocket. So investors get their dollars back in about 3 years. And they are very happy with that. So, and then once we do this, we take that 2.5 million and we keep on putting it in to open up other homes.
Yep. Understood.
So that's kind of like the 500-foot overview of what we would do with a home that we would buy as is. A lot of guys that fix in are doing 20, 30, 50, 80 homes would probably begin right here. Or brand new builders would, we would hope that they got a good piece out of this, and they would call us and ask us to partner up with them. What's
the minimum number of beds, Brandon, that typically makes sense on any development?
Okay, good question. So if you are buying a home that is going to be up currently, you want to find about a 5,000 square foot home. And I would not do any deal that doesn't have 10 beds in it or over for anything that's going to be existing. And I probably wouldn't do any deal that didn't have 3 homes in it. So for any deal to have us partner up with them, they would have to have 3 homes within about 30 of each other. And when we build brand new, we would do 16 beds each, just 16 each is that's kind of what we feel fits best. One of the things of why we were able to do that is by us, the RN can only oversee 3 homes. So I feel it's better for the RN to come here, be in this house for about 3 hours, and then go over to this house for 3 hours, and this house for just 3 hours. And then if anything ever happens, she's in this area.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right? So
gotcha.
That's kind of our overall business model, and that's kind of what we are doing. The value of what we are giving here, guys, is this is what we have learned for 5 years of doing everything kind of, and what we are given here because I felt to get on this call, I had to definitely bring good, and I wanted to give the best value possible, and kind of give you the two different avenues that a person would probably get into. And we gave you two different examples. This first home is earning $20,000 each month, and these brand new pods, each pod would be clearing 80 grand. So if anybody on here could be interested, I've got a calendar app, and that app is, if you look at just my first and just last name.com, it is BRANDONSCHWAB.com. You can book time to talk with me. That's probably the best way to get into it. So also times, I've had people ask me, hey, Brandon, could you teach me how to do it? I don't want to quite partner up with you. I want to call it our own thing. We will take on coaching students, but I'll only do 5. We have an upfront fee, and we have an ongoing fee, and then we will JV with you for 20%. So that's also a option as well. So I don't know if I can you tell what I'm doing here?
I can. Yeah. Can I see your screen? Yeah, we can see your screen for sure. Yep.
So if you want to talk with me, the calendar app, just go to BrandonSchwab.com.
There you go. We'll put it in the show notes too, Brandon.
Oh, yeah, cool. Perfect. Boutique Senior Living Academy.com is a page if you're interested in becoming a student. We have a cap at 5. We currently have 2 students, so we have 3 openings for 3. And just to be totally upfront, this is a pretty high ticket item. We ask for 50 grand up front, $1,000 each month, and we will JV 20% for your first 3 pods. There you go. So kind of those are the kind of 2 different opportunities. If anybody wants to park dollars, you can contact us here, and we could talk offline and about any opportunity. Or if you kind of want to do your own gig, there's that. Or if you want to partner up with us, if you think your area could be good, and if you're interested in 40 grand each month passive income, contact me too. Could I give a phone number or?
Yeah, however you want people to get in touch with you, that's for sure. And okay. While you're typing that in, Brandon, I got to ask you, just as a last final question here to your presentation, when you say passive income, but what if I say, I don't want to have to manage RNs. I don't want to manage caregivers. I don't want to deal with any of that.
Yeah. So we would have two different, we would have 2 different type of people. We would have folks that would be active. And then we would have active and also passive. So the active folks would kind of be up here. We also do a bus tour every quarter. We do 10 people, just max. We drive our buses, and that is actually called babyboomerbustour.com, which is kind of dumb, but that is $5,000. You get a home study course, which is basically everything we've done backwards. You get to go through that prior, and then I would actually take you through all of our homes for $5,000 and kind of give you an idea. So if a person's active, kind of these are probably the 2 top courses. If you don't want to come out, we would sell the home study course for just under $2,000. Home study course for $2,000. But this year doesn't. So this is the thing that I did back in the day. This is probably very difficult for the average person. I felt that if you can buy this course and go through actual homes, I feel that would help you kind of get on the proper path. if you are the person that goes, yeah, I don't feel like doing all of that. You could always park dollars with us, but also I would also challenge you that partnering up with us is a very good option too. We have this deal where we will partner up with investors 51% for us, and you would get 49%, which is almost 50-50. And we are looking for a turnkey product. So we are kind of the end person that really we don't have to own the asset. We are interested in that, but we are paying $10,000 every 30 days per house, so times 3. So I don't know if you have any tenants that are currently paying you $30,000, but that's what we would pay each 30 days, and for a person to build us 3 homes. So you would have to build us 3 homes that are 7,500 square feet each, that have a particular plan. And if you can do that, our team would go pretty much anywhere coast to coast that has the elder count population. The areas that we aren't interested in are probably Arizona, because there's tons of these things out there. So, and then that would be a option. So I would tell you, if any of this is able to just hit home at all, get on here, contact me, ask me any, and we are able to talk, because we feel a big purpose that it is up to us to be able to help the elderly, and we have to get these homes built, and we feel the purpose that God definitely put us here to help bring people to Him, and this is our avenue to do that. So one thing that I will point out too, is our business is based off of Psalm 23. Psalm 23 kind of put us in the job role where we have to help folks kind of come and be able to answer where they are going to go after Earth. And you don't think that's a very big deal, but in these big places where there's 200 plus people, when folks are at the end, they begin asking questions like, hey, where they are going to go after. And this is a very good opportunity that we are able to answer that. So if any of this is able to just hit home with you, definitely contact us. Probably the best thing is probably up top, talk and tell me you were on here, and we can talk going forward. I think we've got our upcoming the Baby Boomer Bus Tour. It's coming up in about 55 days. So,
gotcha. No, Brandon, you brought tons and tons of value today here for our folks, and so lots of good info here, guys, from Brandon. I know we're a little short on time, so I apologize. Usually I ask a couple follow-up questions, but Brandon, I think you've answered pretty much anything anyone could have wanted to know here on assisted living, on independent living, and how much of a great investment that could possibly be. And he did mention how to get in touch with him, which is www.brandonschwab.com. He has his calendar link there for anybody. And I guess for right now, anything final words here? And Brandon, you've sort of wrapped it up pretty well. Anything you want to add?
I think I have probably covered everything. I thank you for the opportunity. If you or if anybody would ask to have us back on, I would be thrilled to get back on, and possibly I can ask just my 2 partners to get on. They bring a whole other aspect. So if anybody's interested, I can probably talk these 2 into be able to jump on this call, and that if it would be able to just help, because these 2 are able to handle the day-to-day, and they can give lots of just value, if that would be able to help anybody, or if So I would hope that the story that I had of being able to bring poop out of a basement for about 8 hours, would hope that it would just hit home that somebody here would do things different to be at home. I did just give a presentation this past Collective Genius on a family code. I feel that creating a family code is key. I think quite a bit of us are going to have this for our business, but we really don't have this for what we do at our own personal home. And a couple of the things that I am able to have in here is that these are things that we don't budge on. These are things that we put things going on back home first, because if you don't, it is too easy to put in 80 hours plus per week. And guys, that's what causes blown up things back at home, kids, and this is a whole other different topic, but you've got to have a good balance between what you do in your office, family, just health. And I would tell you, as a final plug, if you don't have a family code done, take a picture of this, copy it, change it, but get this, and then take this, copy it, print it, and put it in your own home. This is probably the best piece I could offer, is to have balance in life. And
yeah, awesome give there, Brandon. For those of you guys listening on SoundCloud or iTunes, Brandon did obviously follow along today with a PowerPoint. So feel free, please go onto our YouTube channel. That's AA Real Estate Props, and we are the Shut Up and Do It podcast through that channel. And wanted to huge thank you to Brandon for all the value he brought today. And a huge thank you to all of you guys for listening. Be sure to like and share below, share on all your social media channels. We're looking to really kind of build that audience, especially this is a whole new topic for us here on the senior assisted living. We'd love to see you on the next podcast. So stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.